people make it more difficult because they're resistant to it, because authors tend to be introverts. They just want to get in the room and write and not have to worry about the other stuff. But you have to decide, do you want to write just for families and your books go, you take them to the family reunion and you share them with the family, or do you want them to get out in the world? And if that's the case, you got to make the commitments. You got to make the sacrifice. Again, at the end of the day, what is it that you really want? This is the thing I'm most, besides my granddaughter, and my son, I'm most passionate about. I want my book in as many hands as possible. Now, and so you got to do the work.
I guess so, because my attitude is I want to write as many books as I can. Anyway, I guess you sort of answered my next question, which is that you seem to sell a lot of copies of Illusions of Paradise, even though it is just your first book. Can you? So I was going to ask you how you explain to your listeners how you do that, but I guess you sort of answered the question. Is there anything else you'd like to add to what you just said about the bookmarks and the meetings and all that?
Well, here's the thing. You've got to, my book has, a couple in my book like to drink pineapple mimosas. They love pineapple. Uh-huh. And so while I was writing, when I would take a break, I would think, how can I market this book? So I thought book clubs, instead of drinking wine and reading books, and these women drink wine.
That's for sure.
Why not drink pineapple mimosas? And I'll come in and I'll do a dramatic reading, and they're sipping pineapple mimosas. And then I'll do a Q&A. And because their inhibitions have been because of the alcohol, I get really good feedback on the Q&As. We've done, as of 2 weeks ago Thursday, I've done 11 in person and 4 that I Skyped in for. And so I market to these book clubs, let's do the pineapple mimosa parties, right?
Sure.
And then I create events. I partnered last year with 4 other authors, and we did 2 events. We did one where we had just a small group of women, and we came in and women talked about, these are people who wanted to be authors or who had a dream, and we sort of encouraged them. And then we did the same thing the following Saturday. The first event, we had about 30 people, sold a good number of books. The second event, we had about 100 people, sold a good number of books. And we weren't pitching our books. We were just talking about each of us with, diverse genres, but living our dreams. And so I say to authors, find something in your book. If your book is about pirates, go to the dollar store, get some pirate themed,
sure,
balloons or whatever.
Smart.
Yeah. And invite the homeowners association, all of your friends and neighbors, and some good wine. It doesn't have to be expensive. Some cheese and crackers. Talk to them about your book. And the other thing is, tell everybody that you've written a book. I sold a book to the air conditioner repairman who came to do the 6-month maintenance check. I tell everybody, and always, it's amazing to me, authors are places, and I'll say, do you have a copy of your book? No, I don't have any. I keep copies in the trunk. There is a rapper, Chance the Rapper, who keeps copies of his CDs, and he sold a lot out of the trunk of his car. And so I tell people, I'm the Chance the Rapper of books. I've always got books with me, oversized postcards. If we do book signings and people say, well, I don't know if I'm going to get it today. Here, take a postcard. That's another thing. Go to my website, read the first 2 chapters. So people get a sample. It ends with the cliffhanger. Their buttons, push to buy the book button. You're at Amazon, and then you read those great reviews. You're there. So you just got to, throw it against the wall. You got to try everything.
You got to keep doing it. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. And not be afraid. I think people are afraid, and I don't know. And you just got to do it. Again, what is it that you want out of life and out of this author's life?
Good question. Well, listen, I was in your writers' conference in Bradenton, Florida last March, and during the 4-hour conference, I thought it was pretty good, by the way. There was a lot of talk about Amazon's Kindle. I've heard that every 5 minutes a newly written book is uploaded to Amazon. There are more than 2 million authors on Amazon. Is Amazon still the best platform to work on as an indie publisher?
Well, 2 things. One, it's the only one I've ever worked on, but I found it very easy. They give you a template. You upload your book. You upload your cover. Mm-hmm. It's there. It's print on demand, so you don't pay anything. You get a small portion. And the other thing is, recently, someone sent me a message saying he ran across my book by accident and he enjoyed it and he was going to give me a review. And I said, how is it that you ran across it by accident? And this was an amazing thing. He said that after Toni Morrison died, he went looking for her books. And Amazon said, if you like Toni Morrison, you'll also like these books. And my book was there.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Amazon yeah, I think it's a great, like I said, I've never used any other platforms, but they make it so easy for you. And their customer service, there's never been a time. One woman got a damaged book and gave me a 1-star review because she got because she got a damaged book. She gave me a 1-star review. And I called Amazon. We rectified it. I gave her the information. They quickly replaced her book. So it's they do it pretty well.
Okay, okay. Well, let's talk about book publishing as a whole. With the exception of possibly the 19th century, it has always been difficult to make money from writing, but it seems to be much easier to publish today than previously. Basically, anyone can publish today. So doesn't that fact take away from the status of an author? Well, I guess you sort of explained it to me, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How does one stand out from the crowd? And how much of these authors are making money? The quote, everyone gets a trophy phenomenon means everyone is writing a book and being commended for it. Fair game. But what is the end game? Basically, I guess I'm asking you, how do writers make a living?
Well, I haven't figured that part out yet.
You're getting there, though. You're getting there.
I'm getting there. One of the things is, first of all, you got to put a quality product on the market. One of the things I say to independent indie authors, or what used to be called self-published authors, is just because we're self-published, the standards don't change. We've just really gained legitimacy in the publishing world. And so it's very important to put out a quality product. That means it's edited by a professional book editor, a professional cover. It looks like, I always tell people my favorite authors are Terry McMillan and Larry McMurtry. I'm a MCKANIC. So when I go on the shelf, I'm going to be somewhere among them. And I want a quality product out there.
Sure.
Again, marketing is about building top of mind awareness, that you're out there consistently, that people see it enough. When I get reviews, I'll talk about, I'll put on social media. And social media has really been a great resource. But I'll say, got another great review. Or people start to share their reviews, or I'll post something and people share it. So after a while, you're building this awareness. People see the cover. Oh, that's Illusions of Paradise, right? And that's kind of how you stand out. I think at some point you can get to the point where right now I'm kind of break even. I'm not profitable yet. But again,
just breaking even is really good, I would say.
Yeah, but I reinvest. I reinvest all of the time. I'm constantly marketing. And I'm still run my PR marketing company. But from the time I get up in the morning to the time I go to bed at night, I'm thinking, how else can I market? And I'm creating posts. I'm figuring out what events I can do, how I can. Again, this is what I want, and so I give it heart and soul. And that's the key. You stand out, stay out there. We're bombarded with so many products, out of sight, out of mind. You tell me about your book today, and I'll think, oh, I'm going to buy that. That's a great book. And then somebody else markets a book, and you think, oh, that's a great book. You forget about the first book. But my thing is, if I stay out there consistently, at some point, my book has been out almost 2 years. Really? And I'm still selling 40, 50 copies this month, a whole lot more a month, because I'm just constantly out there. And that's what you got to do.
That's very impressive. That's very impressive. It really is. Pat, I've noticed that some of the deepest pockets are on the left of the political spectrum in Hollywood. It's pretty left wing there. Yet they make some of these blockbuster hits that are sort of contrary to the political ideas, it seems. Anyway, certain good books are made for film. Have you heard of independent writers getting good book-to-film deals?
I'm probably not the person to ask about that. I know it's happened. Now, I'm trying to get my book in the hands of just the right person so it can, because people often read the book and say, I could see this as a movie. As a matter of fact, a friend and I have actually cast it. I said, when you have a dream, you move toward that dream, you act as if you envision what it would look like. And so my thing is, in my mind, I have an idea of what the characters look like. So I've created the cast. And when I do the pineapple mimosa parties, I pull up the cast and I pass it around and show it to people. And they go, oh, okay, I could see that, right? So, like I said, I'm not real sure. I haven't studied that yet, but I'm working on it.
Let me guess. You have Kerry Washington as Tony, and let's see. For Mel, he rings a bell for me. But who's your girl? Is Carrie
No,
Washington the one?
no, a woman named DeWanda Wise. She
Okay.
was in Spike Lee did. She's Got to Have It on Netflix, and she was the star of that.
Oh, okay.
And then the Jamie is a guy named Sean Blakemore. And then Mel is Iman Walker, who is the chief on Chicago Fire.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the people I envision.
Listen, unfortunately, it's been a nice discussion. We only got a minute left, so I just want to talk to you about, in a minute or less, you're a certified life coach. You're in the beauty business. Could you just give us a brief talk about that?
Well, the beauty business, beauty of the mind. The idea of certified life coach is that we all have within us the answers. And sometimes you just need someone to ask the right questions. And so what I do is I sit with people and say, okay, what's the challenge? What is it you're trying to do? Or where are you trying to go? And then ask questions. And then they go, oh, okay, the answers are there. They just need somebody sort of to coach them and pull them along and pull those answers out.
I get it. Okay. Well, so not about creams or makeup products or anything?
No, it's beauty of the mind. It's, my mission, I always say, to whom much is given, much is expected. Right. And I feel like I'm so blessed and so many dreams have come true that it's incumbent that I give back. And so one of the things I do is try to help people figure out, where is it you want to go? What's the dream? How do we get you there? Because dreams do come true. You said to me once recently, you're one of those glass half full kind of people. And I thought, yes. And I want to share that.
Very good. Glass, we're going to end with that. Pat McCannic, we only have 15 seconds left. This interview will air in the upcoming weeks. Pat McCannic is an author, communication strategist, motivational speaker, workshop presenter, and certified life coach. She is also the owner of Pat McCannic and Associates. I'd like to thank Pat McCannic for being on our show today. My name is Richard Bont, and this is Curmudgeonly Yours, an eclectic show on Society Bites Radio. You can download these podcasts on societybitesradio.com or richardbont.com, and you can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Sound Echo, and several other internet platforms. Thank you, Pat McCannic.
Thank you, Richard. It's my pleasure.
So I'd like to thank our guests for being on Curmudgeonly Yours today. And please, if you like what you heard, send me an email to richard@richardbont.com. And if you didn't, please keep your comments to yourself. Remember, this is Richard Bont and Curmudgeonly Yours on Society Bites Radio, where everything is what it seems, nothing is what it seems, and what is not said is often of most interest.